Do not attempt to adjust your podcast player. We are controlling the transmission. We are here to be your guide, helping you to explore local events, the art scene, music, theater, sports, and possibly a conspiracy or two. All here on the GCRX Radio and Podcast Network.
Good evening, y'all. Welcome to In the Metro. I'm Brian with the Y, your favorite guy. Good evening and welcome to your weekly dose of shenanigans and chicanery. Like, I'm always about the shenanigans. I don't even know where to begin. I had a conversation with my sister on the way here, and she made it very clear that she is also with the shenanigans and the chicanery as well. She was visiting with my dad. My mom ended up having surgery, and she went to be with my dad for a bit, and he didn't want her to go. And she goes, I know, because I'm awesome. And you know what? She's absolutely right. I am awesome. So, like, how do we go from there? Like, just we're there. Anyway, how y'all doing? It's Monday. What's today? January 7th, 13th. Close enough. 7th, 13th.
No, it's not.
It's somewhere between then.
Do the math. It's not close.
Mathin' and the mathin'.
I was told there would be no math.
I just made that up on my own. I'm just the host.
Didn't you watch Sesame Street 1? No.
I didn't get that. I can't count to 20 without taking my shoes off.
Oh, wow. Hope you never lose a digit. That would suck.
In any case, welcome to the show. I am Brian with Why, your favorite guy. Today, with me in the gallery, I have Dee Dee. You can't see her, but you definitely saw her if you saw my live, and that was cool. And tonight, I have, for conspiracies, Nick Drago. Mr. Nick Drago, how
good
are
evening,
you, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing really good. Good to be back. Always feels like I've been gone a long time when I come back here.
Yeah, it's like once a month, but it seems so much more. Like, it always seems longer.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
It's weird.
And there's always so many things coming up in the news, and I'm always like, oh man, I gotta wait.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Like, we're kind of transitioning off of Diddy tonight, which is cool.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing new on that, really.
No, there's been nothing.
Yeah.
No, the whole area is burning down. Like,
Yeah,
it's all
yeah.
gone.
I hope they got all the evidence.
They got rid of some evidence there.
Yeah, they did.
You think baby oil is flammable?
I don't know. It's mineral oil.
I gotta say this before I forget about this and before we jump on to something else. Is I heard that there's something, if you accidentally ingest baby oil, it could give you the kind of illnesses, like the pneumonia-like illnesses that the people surrounding Diddy died of.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Weird.
That is weird.
So not weird, but well, you
No, that's
you know what
weird.
I mean, you know.
Now I
That
have
is
to look up.
quite weird.
So yeah.
Now I got to look up and see if mineral oil is flammable. I'm curious.
Also, that voice that you heard is the voice of my esteemed defendee, engineer Bill. Say hi, Bill.
What up?
I said say hi, Bill, not what up,
Hi.
Bill.
Didn't realize that we were being so strict tonight. Jeez.
Do you remember Mr. Bill from SNL, the early days?
Mr. Bill.
Oh, no. Remember that?
Yeah.
He was made of clay and all that.
Oh man, such good times. The shenanigans. So a couple birthday shout outs. I want to, okay, this first person, there are three people I want to shout out tonight for birthdays. First person is Nick Ward. Nick and I go back to 1992. That's what, 30, almost 35, 32 years, 33 years. I met you in like September, or October, something like that. Yeah, 33 years I've known Nick. He's, I'm guessing 44 now, 43, something like that. I don't know. He's my age. So happy birthday, Nick. Shouting you out. I also want to do a shout out to Tess Lynch. Today is her birthday. Happy birthday, Tess. Just saying hi. And then a business associate up in Canada, Jim Boline. Happy birthday to you too. Yeah, rocking and rolling.
Happy birthday, everyone.
Yeah,
Happy birthday.
There are plenty of other birthdays coming up. kind of a lot to get into, but I do want to get into our talk tonight. I just want to jump right in, Nick.
Okay. Yeah.
You said you got some really good stuff tonight.
Well,
and I'm here to listen.
No, I mean, I got like as far as the CEO shooting, Luigi Mangione, I'm really thinking that Luigi Mangione is just a is that all right?
Yeah, you're good. Okay. You're good. Sorry.
I think the whole thing is fake. I'm gonna go there. I don't care anymore. I think the whole thing is fake. I think he's just like an an agent.
Guy?
Yeah. No, he's an actor. He's in on it. It's all acting.
Ooh.
Yeah. They want to create, I'm going to say let's see, what should I say?
Powers that be?
We could say the powers that be. So
okay.
I don't have a list of names and,
right.
They always works,
End up on a watch list somewhere.
So they create this guy. They want to make him a hero. They want to create domestic terrorists. You know what I mean?
Well, why? There's so many out there already.
To have stricter laws. Look at the laws that, how strict things got, security at airports and things after 9/11, after there was we got a dose of terrorism there. So they say. But I think that I think I see Luigi Mangione acting. I don't believe him. I'm looking at I've done some acting in my days and stuff. Body language, just the way it's like, I don't believe him. I don't.
Have you ever seen? Sorry to interrupt. Have you ever seen the movie A Long Kiss Goodnight?
A long time ago.
So
I don't remember it.
Okay, so it's the character is Charlie Baltimore.
Okay.
And she's like this massive hit woman and all this other stuff. CIA operative. She ends up losing her memory, and throughout the course of the movie, she's gaining it back and she's getting her skills back as well. Well, she's with Samuel L. Jackson's character. I forget his name, but they talk about doing a fundraiser.
Uh-huh.
And the premise of the fundraiser was we need to create this, the government needs to create this cataclysmic event that will then sway public interest in a way that would then say, you know what, we need legislation to back the fear behind this cataclysmic event so that it never happens again.
Right. Yes.
Are you thinking that this is one of those type of scenarios? They're setting this up so that he's just playing his part?
Yes, that is what I think. It's what I'm leaning toward thinking. You know what I mean? I'm not 100% on anything like that, but I did a little bit of research on the guy and some of his okay, let me say, should I say this? Be clear here. If my research is correct, people that he is related to, their backgrounds are being scrubbed from the internet right now.
Wow.
Because they don't want nobody, they don't want any, trail him leading to anything that is hand in hand with, intelligence, like central intelligence.
Wow.
Yeah. If the research, the people I'm listening to are right, you just don't know anymore, man.
Yeah.
There
does seem to be a level of fakeness to the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then the over elaborated perp walk, celebrity perp walk that they did.
They turned him into a celebrity
fast and
they didn't make him look bad there.
No, you could have put some cinematic music behind that and it would have been the backstory of some evil character in a movie that literally I've seen worse stuff in professional movies than that perp walk that they did.
Usually DC movies.
Right.
I just, like I say, I see his body language and everything. I think he's acting. I think it was a little ridiculous that he's the crime itself. He commits this right under a camera.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You can't see Brian Thompson's face, and there's a little bit. If the research I am researching is correct, he was under investigation for insider trading and possible racketeering. Yes. So it's a good time for him to kind of disappear.
Yep.
You don't see his face. His wife put out a statement an hour after the news broke that he had been killed. The shooter is right, like I say, right under a camera. I have seen the unedited version of this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've seen the Brian Thompson, who's supposed to be Brian Thompson. I've seen him stumbling, and like I say, it doesn't look real to me.
Well, I think it
doesn't look real to me.
I think it's very interesting too. Like, you know, they had that picture of him inside what is it was a fast food restaurant or something like that.
Which, by the way, seriously?
Well, which
Yeah.
one, Brian?
The one where he had his hoodie up and he was smiling.
Oh, when he smiled at a
Yeah.
Starbucks, yeah.
And like that was all they had to go off of for a long time. Like nobody knew what was going on, and like you pieced all these puzzle pieces together after
seems
this
too
dude
convenient.
disappeared,
Yeah,
and
it's-
figured out he was in a McDonald's in a completely different state.
right. And even like the
come on.
employee or the cop, when they got there, they said that they knew it was their guy. It was like based on what? His chin?
Based on
You know what I
like
mean? Like
every one of these, like every fast food and gas station place, like the places that have the highest probability of being robbed
Mhm.
have the worst camera systems ever.
And this one is 4K
Like
in depth.
yeah, I don't. Yeah, no, it's silly. It's absolutely silly.
I heard some talking that the reason why they like this story, the cover story is the McDonald's employee
Mhm.
spilled the beans and all that, but
Should've stayed in New York.
really, I don't think we have a name on that person yet.
They're probably afraid.
Right, well, yeah, it could very well be. But the thing I read was that he was identified when he was ordering his food on the kiosk, and it was some kind of facial scan that recognized him like that and alerted authorities. And yeah, but they don't want to say that because they don't want you to stop going to McDonald's
and using their kiosks.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was interesting that this was some time ago. They did an interview with Mark Zuckerberg, and the camera on his computer was covered.
Because he's not stupid.
No,
Oh, yeah.
He's a programmer.
in on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, rest in peace.
Facebook?
No, not
Oh,
Facebook.
sorry.
What's his name? Mark Zuckerberg. I heard on Facebook that he has passed away at the age of 36. I also heard that Facebook has stopped fact checking me. So
Right.
what I'm saying,
Yeah.
I got off Facebook. It might be true. It might not be true. Who
Oh my
cares? Who
God.
knows? You didn't know I was going there with it, did you?
No.
I kind of wanted to bring that up at some point tonight.
Yeah.
All that.
No need to fact check. The community to do it for you.
No.
Yeah.
No. Rest in peace. Mrs. Zuckerberg, you're now worth $85 billion.
No, there's probably a prenup.
There's a prenup.
She'll probably
You
get
think so?
like $5
Mm.
and maybe like a gift card for Facebook advertising credits or something. Yeah, maybe. I
Man.
mean, no, this dude's not stupid though. You have to understand, what people don't understand is this is one of those stories. Like Facebook was created in a dorm room by Mark Zuckerberg. Like he did all of that. So he's a programmer. He's not dumb. So the fact that he has his camera covered should be a resounding warning to
yeah.
other folks that
Yeah.
like, there are ways to access cameras, and there are like the whole fact that it turns the little light on next to your camera and lets you know, like that's all software and it can be turned off.
Mhm.
So your camera can be on and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting there, chilling there, doing your thing, picking your nose and whatever. And people are just watching. There's cameras everywhere. You can't hide.
There was a
Yeah.
Black Mirror episode where this guy, what was the craziness? He had watched something that involved, I guess it was child abuse material, and somebody on the dark web had captured him. They captured his screen and they captured all that he was doing.
Yep.
And they forced him to play this game. It was kind of like Saw. It was weird. Like he
Yeah.
had to
If
go,
you don't do this, we're
and-
going to release this
we're going to
material.
release this information
wow.
if you don't do this. And they made him do all this other stuff. It was a fantastic Black Mirror episode. And then at the end of it all, he ended up killing this guy, and they had it streamed from a drone, and then they released it anyway
Oh,
because
man.
you're a complete piece of like.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
Man, oh man.
Okay.
Speaking of drones,
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh.
What you
that
got?
was just happening. I haven't really changed my mind on anything. I think they're just effing with us. The powers that
Okay.
be, them, they
Are
are
they-
effing with us.
Are they still going on out there? Like, because
I really don't know.
I'm not hearing anything about it
Yeah,
anymore.
I think no one's really interested anymore. And people, we've seen these drones, night after night. I got a friend in New Jersey was telling me it's every night. He said, but then people started seeing these orbs.
I saw that.
About these like orbs, and I had people telling me that ain't us, man. And I'm like, yes, it is. Yes, it is. They're just it could be Project Bluebeam. I don't know if you're listening and you don't know what Project Bluebeam is, go to YouTube and look at Project Bluebeam demonstration.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just amazing. It's amazing what the technology does. There's one of the demonstrations. These people are sitting in a gym, and a dolphin or a whale comes up out of the floor and does like a dive back into the floor. There's waves and everything.
Mhm.
And this is like 4-dimensional. This is like this looks like it's in front of you.
Legit hologram.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, like a hologram. And so that's what I think. That kind of technology is what's behind these orbs. And these orbs, people are seeing these orbs because they're looking up there looking for the drones. So they're like, oh, cool, what could it be? Oh, well, that's not a drone. What is that? Hey, and I just think, as we've talked about UFO or UAPs, whatever in here, I've always kind of said it's like they want us to talk about it now. They're not hiding it.
They want to
don't even-
normalize it.
What's that?
They want to normalize
They want to
it.
normalize
Yep.
it. Yes.
Well, yeah.
Yes, they do. Why? Why do they want to normalize it? One reason I've heard is Dr. Stephen Greer of the Disclosure Project. He has been saying for years that there's going to be a false flag alien invasion. There's, like I've been saying, there are certain fake things that happen. There's going to be, an alien invasion. It's not, we're going to think it's aliens, but it's going to be man-made craft that looks like it's from other worlds. This is what Stephen Greer says. It's going to look like, a bunch, it's going to be like 9/11 in every city. And, it's going to make us come together, and you know what I mean? Like,
And see, if that started happening, I would have a very difficult time believing it, especially if these beings have been contacting us for years, because that they've contacted governments. If legitimately like beings have come down like, hey, we've done this before, we know it's not a good thing to just pop in and be like, hey, here we are, because everybody gets freaked out. So let's like slowly introduce ourselves. They would never go through that process if they just wanted to annihilate us.
yeah.
Like
No,
it would be
Mars
like,
attacks.
hey, we own you, bow to us or we'll wipe you off the face of the planet.
I don't think they would really go about it that way, when they could just ignore us.
Yeah.
You know what I
Like,
mean?
hey, look at those apes on the planet over there.
Legit.
Like, unless we've got some precious resource that they need, which I doubt it, because pretty much everything that we have on this planet shows up somewhere else on some other stellar body. So there's no real reason to come mess with the savage child race that can't quit destroying themselves.
Right.
Like, what's the point?
So I don't. Yeah, I've never believed that they, that they were, bad or whatever. The visitors, I'll just call them visitors. Although they might not be visitors.
Maybe not.
Maybe they're from the sea. We have not discovered the sea so much.
No.
Of the sea.
Yeah. I heard Neil deGrasse Tyson. He said, we have discovered as far in both directions as we can so far. As far into space as we've gone is as far into the ocean as we've gone. And one thing that I'm kind of not excited about with the melting of the polar ice caps, the releasing of water and saline and all that. One thing I'm not super thrilled about is what may come up, because, we can, like, it's not as deep. Like, as far as the trenches go, Mariana Trench, that still doesn't reach the Earth's crust. Like, it's so many, it'll take us forever and a day before we get to the Earth's crust.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is whatever it is that we would use to drill down that far, the gravitational just kind of force at some point would destroy the drill. And if it didn't, it would move it so fast that it would fire it out the other end, and we'd end up with it'd be problematic.
Well, and at the end of the day, what's the point? I mean,
going to the other side of the drilling through the earth?
Yeah, drilling through. I mean, you can't. There's a liquid magma core or liquid iron core. So what's the point? You know, it's not like you're like, hey, this is a new path for telecommunications cables. No, it's pointless. Like, other than for research, but we got a good idea what's going on beneath us. Now, exploring the ocean, that's a whole other thing. Like, there's stuff down there we don't even know what it is. You know, we're discovering new species all the time.
Yeah, and we need to. I kind of feel like we need to stop.
Well, I mean, what worries me about the polar ice caps melting is ancient bacteria and viruses and things that can stay dormant until
need to stop.
Yeah, I mean, they've already discovered quite a few different organisms that have been frozen for thousands of years, and when they thaw out, they're like, hey, we're awake, you know, and we can't be immune to that stuff because we've never seen it before. Guys,
come on, you're just looking for trouble,
right?
Here's an idea. Here's a thought. What if COVID-19 was always here? It just melted, became airborne, and we all breathed it in. And that's how the infection kind of started. It was somebody and hear me out, I am not a scientist, okay? I am just a guy who had a thought right now and a platform, and I'm saying this, so please take this with a grain of salt. I have no scientific backing of no proof that says, hey, this is what happened and this is what led to COVID. Okay, so please hear me out on this, okay? But realistically speaking, like, you're talking about this bacteria that's been lying dormant for all these years. Who's to say that it doesn't just, something that we fought a millennia and a half ago, 2 millennia, 1 million years ago, as human beings, as a human species, we already beat it back then, but we haven't been exposed to it in generations upon generations upon generations, and now it's being reintroduced to us. And I mean, cool.
It's totally possible if you think about it, like on any sci-fi show where they visit another habitable planet, like, oh, it's got oxygen and nitrogen atmosphere.
Star Trek.
That's awesome. Like any one of those shows where they do that, they beam down or they go down with a craft and they step out and they're like, we're here. That's the worst thing that you could ever do, because unless you have sophisticated enough technology to make sure there's not some sort of freaking virus that you have no immunity to, you're a dead man. You're going to step down and go, and that's not your last breath, but it will be pretty soon, because you've just inhaled something that your body has no idea what it is, no idea to fight it, and you're screwed. Like you're patient zero.
Yeah.
And that's technically what's happening in the melting ice caps. Is we're out there scraping stuff up and they're like, ooh, what's this? Piece of candy.
Yo, I absolutely cannot. I cannot with this.
Yeah, let it be frozen, guys. Leave it alone.
I don't think that's what happened, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Getting back on track.
But I think COVID was planned, but I am not an anti-vaxxer. I don't know why, but I think it is because of the timing of certain things, like Project 201. Is that what it was called? It was like it mirrored COVID. It was like war games or something. It's like a drill. Project, what was it called? 201? Yeah, and Fauci and everybody was in on it, and they were just like, it was like, what if there was a virus like that? And lo and behold, a few months later, we have one.
Right.
President Obama spearheaded that.
Yeah.
He was talking about that.
I was in a play here at Alfresco. We did Young Frankenstein, and that was in October, and that was right before September and October, right before COVID hit in 19. And half the cast was sick. And I mean sick, like flu-ish, like this won't go away.
Right.
And this is like a heavy flu, and it's really not going away. And they're all convinced they had COVID-19 in October of 2019.
Right.
And so, and then there's that weird thing. Project Runway. I know I've talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
Project Runway in March or in the spring of 2019, there was a contestant on Project Runway that his outfit that he made had a mask. Okay. It was a plaid, hideous looking number with a mask. And the way they were talking to the contestant was they were saying things like, would you mind putting your mask back on? I love that look. It's sick. Well, it's a good look if we want to keep you alive. This is predictive programming. Okay.
This mask?
Yep. Now, let me tell you, you might be thinking this is far-fetched. The name of the contestant that designed that, his name is COVID Kapoor.
Covid.
Yeah, COVID
Mhm.
Kapoor.
Oh my gosh.
COVID Kapoor, and he's a military kid.
You know what? I think we just live in a simulation.
You know what I'm saying?
There's too many
Come on,
coincidences.
that is not a coincidence.
come
I
on.
don't care what anybody says.
We
Look it
live-
up. It's on YouTube.
We live in it. There are definitely NPCs walking around for sure.
I'm with it. I
For
feel
sure.
sometimes I'm one of them. I got a phone. I got 2 phone calls this weekend from people who I apparently am an NPC who was at their disposal.
Mm.
And like one person calls me, oh gosh, I need a ride to work. Things are rough. Okay, cool. I get it. The other one calls me anytime they need anything that they can't get from anybody else. And I'm like, but that's not it. Like, there's no reason in the world why. So you're getting a new job. Great. I have something that you need. It was a social security card that was left at my house. Why? I don't know. Okay, cool. Like, all right. So I'm just supposed to like drop everything that I'm doing to go do this thing for you. Well, I really need it. I am well aware of that. And I have a show that I'm doing in a couple of hours.
Why
So,
is
like,
your emergency my emergency?
right?
Mhm.
Like, your urgency is not my emergency.
Mhm.
That's kind of how I've lived for many years now. And I'm just kind of like, you'll get it before you need it,
Mhm.
but I'm not going to stop what I'm doing to do it. You know, it's like, okay, cool. And I don't say the yes all the time anymore. And I'm cool with that. They're not, but I'm cool with that too. So, but yes, you're absolutely right. I kind of believe like we're all in a simulation, and like you guys are just NPCs in my simulation, and I'm an NPC in your simulation, and it just kind of goes like that. It's so weird.
I start thinking that I'm in the Truman Show.
Oh
Mm.
yeah.
You think the aliens are watching us
I
right
don't know,
now?
or we're just their video game or something. You know what I mean?
Well, hey, I mean it's an experiment to put these self-aware things down here and figure out if they can like figure it out. Can
Like
they
the
live
Matrix.
peacefully, or do they kill each other? Well, right now we're killing
they
each other.
should know what's up by now.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's only a matter of time before they completely torch their planet.
But you know, here's the thing. Like, I was talking
Simulation
to somebody.
over.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody a few weeks ago about this. I'm like, you know, if you think of it like from the biblical perspective, like the concept of not being bound by time, if you start a game in like SimCity or Sims or something like that, nobody sits there and lets that thing run at real time speed. They always jack the speed up.
Mhm.
So like,
Hurry up
you
progress,
know,
yeah.
we may be a simulation, but if we are a simulation in a computer, like, okay, let's let this thing go by like 6 years at a time. And in a 6 years is 1 second to the owner of the game, you know?
Mhm.
So like
Right.
whatever we're doing is inconsequential. I just want to see how long is it going to take before they nuke each other off of the face of the planet. You
Well,
know,
they're
like,
3 minutes in.
right. You know, like for, you know, if you were to put sentient beings into a sim game, well, they have their set of constraints, which is, you know, our laws of physics and how things work, and they can't exceed said laws of physics, and they go around and they live their little sim lives, and cities evolve and they decline, and you know, like, but you do it at 20x speed, you know, and it just does what it does.
There was an episode of, and I love this show, Rick and Morty,
Yeah, I love her.
where Rick's battery
Yes.
dies. You remember this
Yes, I
episode?
do.
Rick's battery for his spaceship dies, and he's like, all right, fine, I guess we'll go in and see what's up. And they shrink themselves, Rick shrinks himself and Morty, and they go inside the battery. And inside the battery is a whole civilization of people whose job it is to step on these like steppers.
That's how they make power for their
and
society.
That's how they make power for their society. Well, it also makes power for the big battery that then generates the power for Rick's spaceship. Okay, cool. It's like a Google
something. Yeah.
So this scientist kind of figures out that because they don't know that they're inside this.
They think they're their own
world.
Yeah.
They think they're their own being. And anytime Rick shows up, they're like, oh man, that's God. Okay, cool.
The creator is here.
The creator is here, right? And he flips them off and he tells them that that's how you say,
hello, or
peace among worlds or something like that. So there's a scientist who creates a small box that goes in, like inside that box is a civilization, much like Rick did. And they have a way to, like, they do something mundane that leads to energy for their world. Now, Rick's battery has stopped working because the people inside the box that he made stopped working. They stopped working because this scientist created a box that was really small. And it kind of just goes, I think it goes 4 generations deep. They keep shrinking themselves down. And as they get to it, Rick finally realizes, like, yo, the only way to fix this is to, number one, tell this guy the truth. And then number 2, if he doesn't accept it, just destroy the battery and start from scratch.
Yep.
Wow. And it was like, oh my God.
It's a mind twister for sure.
Oh, peace among worlds.
You're like, oh, wow. What could we be? Somebody's, you don't know. Like, think about the silly things that we've done, like sea monkeys. We hatch these little things and we put them on a desk and they thrive for a while and then they die. Like, are we somebody's like little sea monkeys on a desk,
That's a Twilight Zone episode, the old one. Remember that? These people, they they wake up and they're in they're like a dollhouse, like a human dollhouse. And remember that? Did you see that one? Oh yeah.
I don't know if I've seen that one, but that's interesting.
Husband and wife are walking around. There's no one in this town. They don't know where they're at or anything. Like the stop signs aren't really like in the ground, and just all, you know what I mean? It's just, where are we at? We don't know where. And then at the end you see like this giant hand. It's like some little alien, big giant little girl's toy. It was
I mean, like if you look at what's happening with quantum computing, it's interesting that they've just pretty much came out and said, hey, parallel universes exist. Like, it's a thing. With processors that fast, that type of simulation, especially without any physical manifestation, pretty simple. So why would it not be possible to do something like this?
I can't even begin to understand it. To be
it's nuts. It's nuts.
Yeah.
The Google's Willow chip is scary.
Willow chip?
Yeah. So they came out, it's the fastest quantum computing chip in the world. And was able to complete a calculation that would have taken any kind of modern supercomputer, just silicon-based supercomputer, like 10 septillion years to complete. It did it in 5 minutes.
That's a bit of a nightmare. That's
it really, it's scary on the front, just like locally, without any kind of other larger ramifications, security, because you're talking about probably being able to defeat any type. Well, no, not probably. Surely being able to defeat any type of encryption ever created in a very minuscule amount of time. I mean, we've got like 256-bit and 512-bit encryption that, like, it would take you years and years and years. You're better off going out and scamming the individuals that have weak passwords to make your money or do your scams. But if you had the ability to harness power on the quantum computing level, encryption is just like click, it's done. Like that, it's I just figured the password out. Your encryption is junk.
And
it's stupid.
It's wild. I remember watching a video of somebody who does these. They hack stuff.
Ethical hacker.
Yeah, and they run these. They send out their emails, whatever, spam, and then from that they get into, okay, what password is really easy. It has 1 character, 2 characters, 3 characters. And if it goes beyond like 4 characters, if it's going to take more than like 10 seconds, and that's giving them a lot of grace. But if it goes more than that, it will legitimately just stop and go to the next one.
Yep.
Like it takes too long, which is why they want you to do the uppercase, the lowercase, the dash, the star, the it's like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's what they're looking to do in terms of encryption of passwords. And these guys are just so for 10 septillion years, right? Which is what, 70,000 years, something outrageous like that.
Outrageous.
To clear that up in 5 minutes. Like what?
Yeah.
What's next?
I don't know. I don't know. And I haven't had the time to really research into what's the first thing they're going to throw at this thing, but
throw another genome at it.
They're literally advancing with a quickness with quantum computing. And the only constraint is that it has to be kept at almost absolute zero, but in their lab environment, that's achievable.
Like 0 Kelvin?
Yes, almost absolute zero. Well, we can't reach absolute zero, but they have to keep it.
It's like 2 Kelvin.
Like any kind of heat disturbance, temperature disturbance can cause errors. But it's creepy, and I really hope that they're going to use it for good, because there are a lot of gene sequencing and DNA folding and all kinds of other stuff that can be done that would, there's been entire networks. In fact, I participated in one of those networks. I still do. It is called Folding at Home. And you donate your computer time when your machine's sitting idle for it to do the protein folding and gene sequencing and stuff. They send you data, the program does it. You don't interact with it at all, other than saying, hey, thank you for donating X amount of CPU hours or whatever.
I thought it was something involving laundry.
No, shut up. I don't punch you in the face. But yeah, so, all of these classic machines, because we have to call them classic computers now, because that's what they are. Everything that we have is a classic computer now. It's not quantum. Yeah, because that's classical computing. Like, you are using a non-quantum method to perform calculations. Trillions of calculations per second, but not as much as a quantum computer. Yeah.
Somebody's got to use this for good.
And then now it's also funny too. And I know we're swerving way off of topic, but everybody is moving away from the architecture that most all the machines are using now, which is x86, what Intel and AMD have made for, since the beginning of time. Everything is going to be ARM based. So the processors that are in your phones are all ARM based processors, low power consumption, reduced instruction set processors. Everything's moving to that. So Intel's in hot water for sure, because
Pentium's gone.
Well, Intel made a huge mistake whenever Apple was like, hey, be our manufacturer for the iPhone, to do processors. And they're like, yeah, no, we're not interested. Because nobody thought the iPhone was going to amount to a whole lot.
Really?
They became Blockbuster.
Right. But Intel, and then of course Intel's screwing. I can't believe that. They got delisted. From the stock exchange, from the Dow Jones, and their stock price has plummeted. I just, that's such an icon of a company. But again, we're moving way off topic.
The Dow Jones Industrial Average, granted, only does the top 30 companies.
Yeah, but to move from
that,
you were the Intel was the industry leader that licensed out their processor manufacturing architecture to everybody else. And when these folks at ARM came along and said, hey, we've made this processor that consumes little to no power. I mean, it is sipping power, and it does these things really well. And what we've decided to do is all of the intensive stuff like decoding video. Well, we'll make a little separate chiplet on the processor that does that doesn't hardly take any power.
Right.
And Intel's like, no, we're doing it all with the CPU. Like, it can just do it all. Well, I mean, that's power hungry. And the reason Apple moved away from Motorola back in the day was because their PowerPC platform processors ate too much power. It was not enough efficiency. You couldn't put them in laptops and have good battery life and good heat dispersion. So they moved to Intel. And then the reason why Apple made their own silicon is because Intel could no longer support their future visions for smaller, thinner devices, less power hungry devices. And now everybody's just like, hey, whatever operation it is that we need to do, we'll just make a specialized piece of hardware that does it as its job so that you're not using the processor to emulate that procedure, you know?
Do you think they're using ARM processing in Teslas?
Yes. 1000%.
Segue. So we had a Tesla in Vegas, right?
Oh yeah,
That went.
that blew up in front of Trump Tower, right?
Oh, yeah.
It was.
I wanted to talk about this too. Go ahead.
Yeah, there was the only. I think it's weird. I don't understand it. The guy was heavy MAGA guy, you know, like it's like, well, what's the problem? Your guy won. Like, what are you mad at? What you know what I mean? Like, stick around for the good part, you know. So I don't know. It's kind of don't believe the cover story, but I'm not saying no, it's this or but one thing is that the guy his DNA doesn't match his son's DNA or something like that. And
is it the milkman?
I don't know. But here's the thing: the guy could have shot somebody in the head, put the body in the Tesla, and then remote controlled drove it to Trump Tower and then set the shit off. Excuse me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So for anybody who is unfamiliar with this story, me included, all I know is that a Tesla blew up in front of Trump Tower.
Yep.
But what exactly, like it detonated or did it go off on its own?
Oh, first of all, it didn't really
Cybertrucks
blow up. There was an explosion inside.
Okay.
And he wasn't trying to kill anybody. He only killed himself. But there was a bullet in the head. I don't know, man. He's burned beyond recognition, but they got DNA from him, and supposedly the DNA doesn't match. That's kind of quick to get DNA back so quick. So,
Yeah, no kidding.
you know what I mean? So
it takes 23andMe a couple of weeks too.
I don't know. So I don't know.
Probably longer. They're going out of business.
But so it's just kind of weird, and I don't understand. So I don't understand the suicide and with the guy's reasoning behind it and
like,
all.
I'm with you. Like, your dude won. Why are you pissed?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, like I
could get it if Harris would have won.
Right.
Like, but then why would you do it in front of Trump Tower? Like, would you do it in front of something that was important to Harris?
It's weird. It's weird.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all.
But I don't really. I haven't seen any kind of connection. Well, the only connection between the New Orleans thing, that attack, and the Trump Tower thing is that both vehicles were rented through the same app.
Oh,
but
is it Turo?
And I think both guys that were both guys that were central here were, let's see, what did they do? There was something about their training, military training or something like that.
Weird.
Was similar. Yeah.
I do think we are going to have to get used to these cars detonating in a crazy ball of fire. That's going to be something that's a norm with EVs for a long EVs in general for a long time. I mean, you've got so much stored potential in a lithium ion battery. And I mean, like, imagine this. So like what version of the Samsung phone was it that like had the defective battery?
Note 4.
Yeah, and it burned up in people's pockets, and Samsung recalled it.
Yeah. You couldn't even fly with them.
Right. No, they're like, these things are literal bombs. Like, so that's just a defective lithium ion battery in a phone that can literally burn up in the side of your pocket and set things on fire. Take that and times it by like a whole bunch with a giant lithium ion battery in a car like that. And the thing is, when you get into a wreck now, you have the potential of your fuel tank in your gas vehicle.
Granted,
Okay.
we're not talking about lime green Pintos,
Right.
But
But like they have engineered safety wise where it takes a lot for a gas tank to blow up.
Rupture.
Of course,
yeah.
if it ruptures and it leaks on the ground and there's a fire, regular cars catch on fire too, but not nearly as much. But this battery usually spans the entire bottom of this vehicle.
Yes.
And helps to level its center of mass and all that other stuff. And like you're not leaving a lot of crumple zone room for side impacts or and things like that, or rollovers and then an impact after that. You pierce those batteries, they immediately release their energy and then cause a cascade failure in the rest of the battery. And it's going to go up in flames. And then the problem is you can't fight that with water.
Nope. You got to let it burn out.
Yeah, you just got to stand there and like roast hot dogs over it because that's about to, there are firefighting chemicals, but our firefighting forces use water.
Yeah.
It's the fastest, it's the easiest. And I believe it was Rescue 911. I forget which one it was. This guy was really upset. Like his car had broken down. He had an EV and he's trying to get it towed on and it catches. And of course the fire department shows them. They're like, oh, we're going to no, just like stand down. Like, no, but we got to. And the owner of the car is like, my car, please stop my car. And
it's done.
The fire captain was like, dude, look, he pulls it up on his own. He's like, dude, we're not supposed to touch this thing with water. You and the tow truck, just get it off your tow truck. Just drop it. Just let it burn out. That's all we can do.
Wow.
We can make sure it doesn't go any further beyond where it is, but that's pretty much it. Like,
yeah. I mean, unless you got a dump truck nearby with like a ton of sand that they can dump on the dang thing.
Yeah.
Or, kitty litter or something that can snuff it out. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, there are specialty chemicals that they have now for, lithium fires, but and people argue that, well, the fire department's got this. No, they don't. Some probably do, I'm sure. But most of your conventional fire departments are running around with engines full of water because that's what you put on a house fire. Like, bro.
That's what you use to get the cat out of the tree.
The hose, you just spray him out of the tree. Brian can never work for the fire department.
Nope, never.
Yeah, I think it's going to become a thing. And I don't know. I mean, there are brilliant engineers out there. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not really sure what you can do to mitigate that from a side impact perspective, because the battery pack literally comes up to the edge of the frame. So you smash that in and it's over.
When I used to do car stuff, I remember we were changing the tires on this lady's Tesla and she said, oh no, you got to use the puck. You got to use the puck. And I'm like, the puck? Yeah, there's a puck. So you got to use the puck. And it's this
to put it on the lift.
Well, if you're jacking the car up to prevent the jack from puncturing the battery, there was like a little puck, but with a lift, because it's got it's got little legs, it just kind of slides underneath and then lifts the whole thing. There's nothing causing it that could puncture it. So I'm like, I don't know how to attach this to our tech. And it was real simple because my guy, he walks over, he's like, look, it's this. We don't need this. Tell her thank you, but no thank you. And I'm like, okay, thank you, but no thank you. It doesn't work. That's if you're jacking with just a regular car jack. But
see, I think that's a bad idea too, because how many people don't follow instructions?
No,
at all. So there's going to be somebody that goes out and they've got their Tesla, but they also own a beefy jack that they got at the good old neighborhood Harbor Freight, and they're just going to go out there and be like, knock, knock, knock. That seems solid, and they're going to just jack it up, and it's going to stab that battery, and now you've got an explosive fire in dude's garage, driveway, insert random place here. Because
side of the road,
people just don't follow instructions at all, and they'll win a lawsuit for that for sure, guaranteed.
You're not wrong.
It's I feel bad for the old lady that got burned by the McDonald's coffee that won that lawsuit years and years ago, but common sense should be a thing. Like, we served you coffee and it's hot, you spilled it in your crotch. Sorry, but we're not giving you millions of dollars
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Bro. But
this cup doesn't say "Be careful, it's hot." But oh wait, okay. The sleeve says "Be careful, it's hot." The cup itself does not. But you guys saw it. I took the lid off because it was hot. I have a superficial burn on my tongue right now, which is why I have the gum in my mouth. It's soothing it. But good grief, it's hot. I'm not going to sue.
And this is why we have
manufacturer or cup manufacturer.
This is why we have warning labels on everything. You want to give yourself a giggle? Go read the warning label on the pylon next to the gas pump at Quick Trip. Quick Trip gasoline is not intended for aircraft engines.
No way. It says that.
Yes.
Yep.
Wow.
Legit saw a chainsaw that said "Do not stop blade with hands." And these are on here because it has happened. Like, why else would Quick Trip put it on there? Like, yeah, come on. Jim Bob tried to take his crop duster and fill it up with Quick Trip gasoline. Didn't work too well for him. We better put a label out there for that.
Jeff Foxworthy did a bit on this years ago, and he said, I was told, and it said it in the book, do not engage in intercourse after a woman's water broke, which means somebody did. And it's like, but why?
Oh, come on, honey. We got a few minutes before we got to get you to the hospital.
No, we don't.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh.
It's so silly.
The Tesla goes up, and was it a Cybertruck? I believe it was a Cybertruck.
Yeah.
$120,000 worth of trash.
Yep.
Yeah, he had fireworks in it. You know that?
To make it extra special?
Bottle rockets and shit was going off.
I almost spit my tea out.
He had bottle rockets and Roman candles going off in the car.
Oh my gosh.
You could watch the and even hear, you know, like watch the footage.
Wow.
Of it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Here's whistling and yeah.
Wow.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. Yeah. Really, New Year's Day. It was like,
holy crap.
that was a heavy New Year's Day. Then there was a shooting also, but I don't know anything about. I just learned about that. It was a shooting on New Year's Day in New York. Actually, you hear about that? Queens nightclub.
No,
I don't know anything about it.
I'll be honest with you. I don't mess with Queens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Queens and
never
the Bronx.
I never hung out really in Queens or the Bronx when I lived in New York.
The only time I went to the
Brooklyn
Bronx
and
was to
Manhattan.
go to Yankee games.
Uh-huh.
Yankees, the greatest team on the planet. 27 championships. Yeah, I'm looking straight at the camera.
Oh, okay. I thought you were looking at your.
No.
Okay.
The greatest team. Listen,
I was thinking
the Cardinals, they're cool. They're number one in terms of championships in the National League, but they will always be second to New York, much like Emo's Pizza is second to New York Pizza. I threw it in there. I had to because New York, baby.
You know, you are one person here, right?
Which means what?
You had zero backup. How long would it take?
I am my own backup.
You're talking crap on the Cardinals and Emo's Pizza at the same time.
1406 Niedring House. Bring it, baby.
No, I don't want any of that. I would like to say that Brian's opinions are not necessarily the opinions
of GCRX.
Yes.
The Board Gamery, the Garden Gate Tea Room, the Downtown Diner, Studios B, or
me.
Or
even Nick's
I don't
like,
listen.
nope.
I just come here every once in a while. I'm not.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna get fired for this.
You live here now.
Which means what?
You don't live in New York anymore.
You're right. I don't. Oh no. But listen, when I put 36 years here in the Midwest, that's when I'm officially a Midwesterner.
So you're stuck in the past.
What?
You're stuck in the past. You're stuck in where you used to live. You don't live there anymore. Do you plan on moving back?
No.
Then get over it. It's done.
I will get over it.
It's done.
Emos is still trash.
Come on.
That's me getting over it. I don't need to say it.
I told you,
you
want to
keep way. I don't like emos.
I don't. Yeah, it's not the best.
Go Cards.
Yeah. I tell you, like, you keep talking trash and emos. Where's your pizza place? Open it up. It ain't happening. If you can do it so much better, you know what it's like. Come on, bring it down.
I actually make my favorite pizza.
What's your favorite pizza?
No, I make it myself.
Yeah.
Sorry. Prosciutto and pear
Ooh.
Yeah. with maybe Gruyere cheese.
Oh, that is fancy.
I am
it's
going to
really
need
good.
that recipe.
It's awesome. Yeah.
That sounds
Slice
delicious.
up some pear. You could pancetta or prosciutto. I just get like one of those baboli pizza crusts.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't put tomato sauce on it. I just butter the crust and garlic powder.
Ooh.
Just butter, garlic
Ooh.
powder, cheese, sliced pear, prosciutto, oven.
I bet that's amazing.
It's really amazing.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah,
I'll write it down.
I've always liked
write it down
sweetness
for you.
on pizza. Like people make fun of me because
Pineapple.
The pineapple thing, yeah.
But I love
Pineapple's
ham
good,
and
though.
pineapple.
But whatever, man. To each his own.
I like the
Mhm.
sweetness. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I bet that's amazing.
Pear, yeah. You got the fruitiness and you got the
Mhm.
salty, meaty prosciutto or pancetta. It's better with pancetta. You can both. You can get both at Schnucks. So
Yeah,
Okay.
we get prosciutto at Schnucks all the time.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Super quick. Who do you guys have going to the Super Bowl?
I have no idea.
I don't watch. I don't watch.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I have no idea who's in the playoffs.
Me neither.
Yeah, I don't either.
I got to come back Thursday.
I know
Talk
the,
to the mostly hockey guys.
I know the
yeah, I would
Packers
know.
are not in because a buddy of mine is a Packers fan and he's kind of down about it.
He's
so,
upset.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
The
they're
G-
not in.
The Jets don't have a chance. They haven't had a chance since 1998.
All right.
So I have faith that next year is our year because I keep saying next year.
Well.
So you gotta root
Did
for
anybody chime in this evening?
Oh.
No,
No?
no comments.
No Shelly?
Mm-mm.
Let me see our YouTube because that might have something or the other.
Maybe.
I know my sister was watching. Hey, there we go. Let's see if any questions, comments, or concerns, shall we?
Probably
Dragging
concerns
here.
about your trash in St. Louis.
Listen, it's fine. St. Louis pizza is not my
At least it's
fave.
not Chicago style pizza.
I love Chicago style pizza. It's pizza cake. Cake. Like a fat boy with cake. I love cake. I love pizza cake.
I'm done with you.
I cannot wait for the 21st because on the 22nd, I may be up in Chicago getting some pizza cake.
Try not to get murdered.
Listen, that is a very real thing.
Yep. Try to
Because
try to
real
not
talk,
get murdered.
like Chicago, south side of Chicago. How do I see what's it called? I don't see comments. Is it something that I need to see? I don't know either.
I mean, it should be a live video, right?
It is a live video.
And if there are no comments on the right hand side, then nobody's
Oh.
commented.
Then nobody has commented.
Kim Pearson says, "Hello, Nick and fellows."
Well, hello,
Hello,
Kim.
hello. Okay. Let's see. We've covered. Okay, with the last 3 minutes, do you have? I know we touched very briefly on what happened in New Orleans.
Mhm.
What do you have to say about, or could you kind of get us abreast as to what happened and why it might have happened?
Oh, New Orleans?
Yeah.
Oh. I just know that a guy drove through a crowd and yeah, he's born in Texas, but I think he had an ISIS flag on his truck.
ISIS has flags?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah, it's like black with white writing, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And it was, but what's weird is that I saw the truck driving like down the street, and I saw that there was a flag on the back, but it wasn't waving. It was like rolled up and tied. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought was kind of strange. Why put a flag on there if you're not going to have it waving? And you couldn't tell what it was until afterwards when the police said that it was an ISIS flag. Now that I think of it, I didn't see it myself. So
I don't know. It just seems kind of. I hate to be insensitive to those who were injured or lost their lives.
sure,
But
same.
But like when they come out and they say terror attack, and originally, and I don't know what the death toll was in this thing, but I heard like 10 people.
Yeah.
I'm like, that doesn't sound terroristic to me. Like
Yeah.
they're not going to be satisfied with 10 people. Not when the last major attack we had took down 2 towers,
Yeah.
supposedly.
And there was like, what, 3,000 people?
Right.
What do you
Like,
mean supposedly? The towers, they
well,
came
we're
down.
on a conspiracy theory show.
If
This
there's
is true.
if there was really an ISIS flag, okay, you can call it that. It's a terrorist organization.
Right.
But what I saw was, like I said, I saw a flag at the back there, but it was rolled up and like tied where it wasn't waving.
Right. It could have been a POW MIA flag. That's black with white writing too.
Yeah.
Like terrorists aren't going to waste their time driving a truck through a crowd, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They're going to go bigger.
Yeah.
The whole reason we have the TSA is because they like to go bigger.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If we were talking a plane that got blown up
Go
in
to
the
a
middle of the sky,
concert or something.
okay.
Or more. Yeah.
Yeah, like in
A bomb. You know what I
Right.
mean? On
Exactly.
Bourbon Street.
Yeah, like
that would make sense.
a terroristic, gosh, if you want to call it terrorist, think a mass shooting that takes out 10, 15, 20 people, like random targets, just people going all out.
Yeah.
Like that's terror.
I think he got out and started shooting. I think he got out and had a gun, and then police shot him. That's the story. Yeah.
Last story. Did you hear about what happened in West Florissant today?
No, what
No.
happened?
Random dude wandering the streets, t-shirt, no jacket, with a handgun with an extended magazine,
Oh,
firing random rounds in the air.
In the air.
Just boom, boom, firing rounds. Now, there were several people who went live on Facebook with this. Although we can't fact check it because Mark Zuckerberg died. There's the callback.
here we go.
In any case,
go.
so he's firing these random rounds off, and as he's firing these random rounds off, the police engage.
Mhm.
And one of them was just like, yeah, we're not going to let this guy do any more firing of rounds because what goes up must come down. So they just hit him with their car.
No.
Oh, well,
Yeah. Like they hit him, dude went,
I mean,
and then they arrested him.
Oh,
At
they
least
didn't
he-
kill him. Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's dead. They hit him pretty damn
But
hard.
they arrested him anyway.
I mean, they put him in cuffs.
well, I mean, either kill him with the car or kill him with a handgun.
Something was good. Like
Yeah.
this dude was not walking out of this in one piece.
Yeah, no. It's incredibly difficult to be involved in any kind of shooting thing where you're like an active shooter and
Mhm.
come out of it alive. It's
Huh.
really difficult.
It is difficult
because it's a license for them to kill you.
It is difficult, but it has happened.
Oh, it has, but like, don't piss them off because they could pop one in you even after I've surrendered, and nobody's gonna bat an eye.
Oh yeah. We know that.
No, nobody's gonna bat an eye. You're dead.
You're absolutely right.
God, I need to know about that. I didn't know anything.
Oh,
about
it
I
happened
didn't either.
literally 7 hours ago.
I
So
had
like
no
this
idea.
is so new.
Hmm.
I found out about this on the way here.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I'll check it out.
That's just like all the freaking morons that do it on New Year's Eve.
Mhm.
Like, guys, you're putting holes in people's roofs and putting people in danger
yeah.
and stuff. I mean, Kim Pearson's got a picture of one that went through her car years ago. Went through her glass.
Jeez.
Yeah, like, bro. I mean, when it comes down, it's coming down with the quickness.
It goes up at
I don't
1,200 feet per second.
I don't
It's
come
coming
out of
down
the
a lot
house
faster
when
than
that's
that.
going on because, more stuff to stop it. Like, just, I know that the probability is pretty low, but like, there's a lot of people firing weapons.
I will end the show with this.
Mm-hmm.
Financial tip of the day. Talked about it. Going to keep talking about it. Pay yourself first. Government pays themselves first with your money. You might as well pay yourself first with your money. Take 5% of whatever your gross is, sock it to the side. But I got bills. Sock it to the side. The bills will get paid. Believe me, they'll work with you. Save it. 10% to yourself first. Live off the rest. That having been said, this Nick, do you have any parting thoughts?
See you next time.
Next time?
Yeah.
All right. That'll be, I want to say February. Date escapes me. I think it's like the 10th or something. I
And I
don't
know-
know.
And I wonder how many more exciting things will happen.
Oh my
like, think
gosh.
about everything we talked about tonight happened except Luigi. Everything happened since I've been on this show before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you were here last December 9th, and Luigi had just happened December
It
2nd.
just happened. Yeah.
It's now the 13th of January. Happy New Year to you all. Well, we did a Happy New Year show last week, so yeah. And you'll be back on the 10th, and there's 4 weeks of shenanigans
What
and chicanery.
will happen?
All I
you
gotta
know?
say is I don't know that there's a piece of paper large enough for the 2025 bingo card.
Dude,
I just don't think there
but
is.
that's
Right.
why you have different bingo cards, because you've got
Oh
to.
my god! But how do you keep track of all of them? You need a 3-ring binder and something the size of the Library of Congress. Because, like, bro, if it's worse than 2024, man, you might need a CVS receipt to fill that all up. You know, come on, those people.
And
Let
then
me-
they give you a little.
Here's your complimentary tree.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, guys.
Oh, geez. But yeah, absolutely. We're looking forward to having you back next
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
time on the 10th.
I'll be glad to come back.
Bill, any parting?
No, I don't think I have anything. I agree with you in your financial word of wisdom there.
Okay. All right. Well, I am Brian with a Y, your favorite guy, here live, Studio B, as in
Dun-dun-dun.
Brian with a Y.
Oh my gosh.
Don't ever let me do that again.
I'm going
all
to punch you. Guys, I'll punch him after the show.
We
You're
will
fine.
see you next week. Next week is Money Monday with Robert Nelson the Fifth.
Woohoo.
And we're going to talk some more. It's going to be our finance show. And then at the end of the month, we have Seth Arnold, and we're going to talk. I don't even know what we're going to talk about with Seth, but it's going to be awesome. He's a Dungeons and Dragons dungeon master,
Woohoo.
but I met him in Celebrate Recovery, and we're going to talk a little bit about that, just to kind of stay in the course. But we will see you next week at 7:15 Central, 8:15 Eastern, and whatever it is Pacific. I think it's like 5 something Pacific. I don't know. West Coast. Oh, yes. To all of you out in Los Angeles who are dealing with loss of homes, lives, and everything, our hearts go out to you. We hope and pray for the best, and we want you to be safe.
Yes.
If you can notify your loved ones that you are safe, please do. Please be safe. Guys out there in the world, you're awesome, you're amazing, and you're fantastic. Don't let anybody make you feel different. Have a good week. Peace.